All right, everybody. Sorry, I got my new camera. It keeps falling asleep on me, so I just had to hit the button. How's everybody doing today? Jonathan, thanks for the question today. I'm doing great. I'm having a fantastic day, and I'm super excited to be with all y'all, especially those that are from Texas. We have some Texans in the house. If so, make yourself known. Of course, most Texans don't have a problem making themselves known. But today we are going to talk about how to find investment properties for free. And so we're going to talk about what this means, how to find properties for free, because I hear a lot of things like, hey, I don't have a ton of money to invest. How do I get started? What do I do? And there are some ways that aren't going to cost you any money that you can actually go out there and find some properties. And so what I want to do with this is set some expectations, make sure that we're all on the same page for what it's going to take to make that happen, and where spending money in marketing is going to have an impact. Basically, one of the things that you'll find is if you have money to spend in marketing, it will speed up the process, meaning you'll find a property faster if you do the right marketing the right way, rather than not doing any marketing and having to use your own, you go and do your own things, your own efforts, your own hours. And you can add some efficiency if you're spending money in marketing, meaning it'll take you a lot less hours and a lot less time. So not just the duration, but the number of hours. Both of those things will come down if you're doing that. But if you don't have that and you need to find some properties in some other ways, we're going to talk about exactly what you can do today in this market right now in order to find some properties without having to pull out your wallet, or maybe pull it out just a tiny bit. And we're going to talk about some pros and cons of all of those things. So how to find investment properties for free. If you're excited about this, type it in the comment. And yes, I'm talking to you. Brian says, great to be here. Looking for the next best thing. Well, you're going to find it here, Brian. Maurice Smith is doing well. Thanks for being here, Maurice. Donna is great. Thanks for being here. Donna and Jonathan said, doing great. Glad to have you here. Brian, thank you. You are welcome. Excited to have you all with us. If you haven't said hello yet, and a lot of you haven't, please type a hello in the comments. Glad to have you. We are going to jump over and get this presentation rolling here. Okay. Let's see here. It looks like, there we are. Okay, how to find investment properties for free. This is a requested topic as well. A lot of people are saying, how do I do this without a lot of money? How do I get in real estate investing? So what we're going to talk about is ways to find properties. Okay, we're going to talk about how marketing plays a role in all of this, the time frame expectations. I'm going to go over 8 different ways. Oh, you can't see my 8. There we go. 8 different ways that you can actually find properties in today's market that don't cost any money. Jonathan is beyond excited. Good. I will deliver. And as you have questions, that's one of the great things. If you're on the live cast, you can type in comments and I will answer those questions and comments along the way. So please, as we're going through stuff, if you have some questions, type them in. If you're listening to the recorded version, you can come join us in the live thing. So what you're going to get today, you're going to get today a motivated seller's worksheet. This is the worksheet that I use. Basically, when the phone rings and somebody's interested, I have a set of questions that I go through with them. I get some information about the property. I get some information about them. I get some information about their motivation, those types of things. And then I get into how much they owe on the property. And all of this I've put on a 1-page worksheet that you can just print off and have some of them in the car, have some of them wherever. You can put it on your tablet. But it's a great worksheet to go through as to what to say when you actually get a call. So if you want to get a copy of that absolutely for free, I'll give you a copy. At the end, I'll give you a link where you can go and get a copy of this motivated seller worksheet. You're going to want to get your hands on it. I've spent over a decade putting it together and tweaking it and working on it. It can save you a ton of time and help you make some more money if you handle those calls right. Okay, so we've got Roberto. Hello, thanks for being here. Donna, happy to be here. Fez, hey, Fez, you haven't been here a while. It's a new year. You ready to get going again? I don't think you've been here in a bit. Let's see here. Yes, been a crazy last 3 weeks with holidays, funeral. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope everything's okay there, Fez. But it's a new year, a new day, and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. We'll do that at the end of the live cast. Quick disclaimer, shows for entertainment purposes only. And before making any financial move, consult a real estate professional, attorney, CPA professionals in the subject matter. Everybody's situation's different. There is no one size fits all. DHM may receive payment on the show for sponsorships, guests in the forms of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As with anything in life, results come from education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through until the end. All right, guys. Oh, man, we got a lot more hellos. Keep the hellos coming. Israel, hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm late. Glad you're here, Israel. Welcome, welcome. So if you haven't already, please type your name and the city and state you're investing in. And that even goes for some of you that have already put comments in. Jonathan, where are you investing? Love to know. Donna, where are you investing? Maurice, I think you're in Chicago, but please put it in anyway. Brian, where are you investing? If you're investing in multiple places, tell me. Let me know the city and let's see your name. Let's see, Jonathan Roberto. I hope I'm saying that right. Donna Fez. I think you're Chicago as well. I don't know. Type in where you're investing. Israel, where are you investing at? Love to know. Type it in the comments where you're investing, because we're going to go over a couple of scenarios here, and I want to use some real-life examples that could be helpful to you. So I really would like to know where you're investing at. So please type that in the comments as we're doing this. And again, if you're watching this on the recorded, please come join us on the live version every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. And like I say, the benefit of live is you can ask questions and I will answer them. Thank you for those that are putting in where you're investing. Please keep that coming. But before I do, who is interested in a free t-shirt? We're doing a t-shirt giveaway every single week. And today's t-shirt of the week is our classic I Made It Through Rehab. This is our awesome black t-shirt, super extra soft. Love these things. We've got one coming your way. We're giving this one away next week, but we'll be announcing a winner from last week's winner at the end of today. We'll be announcing that, so stay tuned on that. And then we've also got a cool Do Hard Money mask coming your way. We'll be sending both of those out. Next week's winner is going to be getting both of those things, and the winner at the end of today is going to be getting our I Made It Through, I Flippin' Did It shirt. Yeah. This one's the I Flippin' Did It shirt. This is one of my favorites. And this is a super soft one, as well as a mask coming your way. So if you want to be the t-shirt winner, please type in the comments, I want to be the t-shirt winner. And at the end, we'll announce last week's winner as well. So how do you win a free t-shirt? Well, what I'm looking for is people that are asking great questions. And now, let me be clear. For me, there's no stupid question. If you're asking questions, meaning you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to know things, if there's something on your mind, just type in the comments and ask it. I'm looking for interaction, people that are saying things or commenting on other people's things. That's what we're looking for. And then I'm also looking for people that are going to comment on the recorded video. After this goes live, it then is a recorded video, and then you can make some comments on there as well. I'm looking for those things so that we can make sure that's what I'm looking for in determining who our t-shirt winner of the week is. We pay for shipping, send it out to you, but do I have any prior winners on here? If I do, and we've sent you a t-shirt or some swag, I'd love to get a picture. Take a picture of you wearing the swag and send it. Put it on social media, put it anywhere. Please type that in. I would love to see you wearing the DHM swag. I got some shout outs. We got a lot of people that are jumping on here. Really appreciate all of it. Tyrone is in Philly. We've got Brian, Toms River, New Jersey. Fez is in Michigan. Maurice is in Chicago. I thought Fez was in Chicago. He's in Michigan. Leon, where are you investing? Love to know. Tyrone, Harrisburg. I'm assuming Pennsylvania. Tyrone, let me know. Green River, South Carolina for Jonathan. Israel's in Ohio. Where in Ohio are you, Israel? Where are you investing? Spartanburg County, South Carolina for Jonathan. Like it. Donna's in PA. Where in PA are you, Donna? I'd love to see that. Brian, you sent me yours, and I'll send you mine. Oh, that's funny. Brian, New York State. Let's see. I want to be the t-shirt winner. Brian wants to be the t-shirt winner. All right. Jonathan wants to be a t-shirt winner. Rigoberto. I'm saying that wrong. Detroit, Michigan. I was on the short bus, guys. I'm dyslexic, so reading some of these things makes it a little harder for me. So if I get your name wrong, I'm really sorry. Tyrone's in Harrisburg, PA. If you guys like these live casts, livecast. Please keep it coming. And it looks like we only have 2 people that want to win the T-shirt today. I'm hoping there's a few more out there, but if not, it might just be up to Brian and Jonathan, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. If you like these livecasts and you want to see them continue, I need your help. Okay, right now we're currently at 4,585 subscribers. My goal is to get to 4,640 subscribers by the end of January, and that means we have 55 more subscribers to go. So right now, if you currently are not a subscriber to our Do Hard Money YouTube channel, please do us both a favor and hit that subscribe button. And if you do, type it in the comments. Hey, Ryan, I'm your newest subscriber. I'm going to give a shout out to you, and I really appreciate it. One of the things that I do is every single day, I do a video on a specific topic. It's about 5 to 7 minutes. It answers a question, and it's called a Just Ask Ryan question of the day. And if you've got a Just Ask Ryan question of the day, all you've got to do is watch one of these short 5 to 7 minute videos, and in the comments, just type in what your question is, and I will be answering that question for you in one of our questions of the day, Just Ask Ryan, and you'll be able to check those out. We have all kinds of stuff, how to buy real estate tax liens, how accurate are AVMs. We have all kinds of stuff, so you can just type it in the comments when you watch one of those, and I'll be doing that as a question of the day. So please, when you watch this video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and one tip, if you hit the bell notification, you'll be alerted so that when we go live. So something like Fez, who missed the last few weeks, which I understand, but if you hit that bell notification, it'll let you know that we are going live, because we'd really like to have you here. I do this to help you get what you need to get to the next level of real estate investing, and I am passionate about it, and I love doing it. So I'm here to help you guys and want to help you in every way. One of the things that I get is comments, and I really appreciate comments. This is awesome. I want to get started. Robert Stitz, appreciate you making some comments. Please, you guys, if you want to win that T-shirt, like Jonathan wants me to send him 2 of them, and Rigoberto wants me to send him 1, and let's see, who else? Israel, no, he didn't say he wanted 1. So, Jonathan, if you want a T-shirt, please put it in the comments or leave a great comment and let me know that you'd like that T-shirt. It's going to go a long way. Okay. Oh, Donna. Donna is our newest subscriber. Donna, thank you. I won't let you down. We're going to have some killer videos coming for you, and excited for you to be part of things. Errol says, hi, Ryan. Back at you, buddy. Glad you're here. Maurice, we like the broadcast. Everybody hit the like button. Yes, please, Maurice. I appreciate you. Let's see, Donna. Awesome. We got you. Okay, let's talk real estate market update. There's a couple of interesting things, and I'm not going to get political here, but there's some things to realize with a new president coming. There's some changes, and that may affect what you're doing for real estate investing. And so there's some things we want to talk about. And so my take on that, I'm not going to get political at all on it, but you've got to play the cards you're dealt. So with the situation, whatever that is, you've got to decide how to play those cards, and I hope that this section will help you out. So Yahoo Finance is talking about home builders. The results of KB Homes, KBH, released Tuesday morning shows home builders record 42% increase in purchase contracts in the 4th quarter. Basically, they had 42% more people going under contract saying, yes, I want to buy a property, going under contract on a specific deal, than they did the prior quarters. This order total marked the company's best 4th quarter since 2005. Holy cow, 15 years ago is the last time it was this high on new builds. It's back to the supply-demand issue we've been talking about. Realtor.com, how the rollout of COVID-19 vaccinations could help and hurt the U.S. market. As we know, it's been a buyer's frenzy. The majority of the 2020 is likely to die down a bit. We're not expecting it to be quite as crazy as it has been in 2020, moving in 2021. We're going to settle somewhere in between where we were before COVID and where we were during COVID. So we actually, the Association of Realtors is saying we expect 2021 to be better than 2019, but not to be as crazy as 2021. I hope that makes sense to you. So I think there's been some hesitancy for some real estate investors. Hey, what if there's a crash? What if this is happening? There's a lot of hype around a real estate crash. No economist credible economists is saying that's going to be the case. It looks like demand's going to stay good. It's not going to be as good as 2021. We think the number of home sales will go up, but we don't think the prices are going to go up as drastically because we're hoping those builders and we're hoping sellers will bring stuff back onto the market that they held off on selling. So we actually think that we're going to see that. So high prices continue to keep prices between 2 to 6% annual increases, basically what we're expecting, where last year was about 14%, if I remember correctly there. So a lot of stuff going on with that in the market, but I got a few shout outs I need here. Okay, Eugene's with it. Okay, Jeremy wants a shirt. Yes, I do. Okay, Israel wants a shirt. Jeremy wants a shirt. Eugene joined us and new subscriber. Thank you, Eugene. Appreciate it, from Cleveland, Ohio. That's awesome. We do lending there too. Rigoberto, yeah, good vibes. Thanks, man. Let's see here. Donna wants a t-shirt. I love it. Which t-shirt do you like better? Do you like the I made it through rehab, or do you like the I flip and did it? Shoot me in the comments. Let me know which t-shirt you like better. And better yet, if you can come up with a clever t-shirt and type it in the comments, if it's good, we'll put it on a t-shirt and I'll ship you one in addition to the winner of the week. So anyway, be thinking about something, type it and but make sure you say, hey, put this on a t-shirt or something so we don't forget, you know. Let's see here. What do we got? Does the die down help us investors? Does the die down help us with investors? Okay, so I think what you're saying is the die down, meaning the price increases not go up as high. Does that help us with investors? Maybe, maybe not. I think it's kind of indifferent from my perspective. I think it's probably indifferent. But we're not really talking about a die down. We're talking about going from a 14% appreciation to a 2 to 6% appreciation. I don't know if that makes a major difference for us investors, although it might not be quite as competitive, but it's still going to be competitive because you're dealing with a raising appreciation or raising property values. So I hope that helps, Jonathan. If not, type it in the comments. Anastasi says, I flip and did. It's a favorite shirt. Thank you. Who else? Let me know your other shirt. Eugene, good. I need money. All right. Jonathan, I flip and did. It's a favorite shirt. I love it. Brian, the real estate market is slowing down and the home improvement market is picking up here in New Jersey. People are spending equity in their homes. Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot as well. You know, Home Depot lumber prices has gone up astronomical. Forecasts are showing probably February or March we'll start to see some of those prices come back down. So I would, if you are looking to do some renovations that you can wait on, if you have a rental property that you're going to renovate, or if you've got your own house, I would wait until probably March or April. We're expecting some of the supply to pick back up, and then there shouldn't be, in the demand we think will stay consistent, but if the supply picks up, I think we'll be seeing some of those prices come down, is what I'm hearing from some industry experts. Okay, while interest rates aren't expected to shoot up this year, they'll likely increase a little, moving back up around 3%. So this is something to keep in mind. It's not going to kill off home purchases. 3% is still a fantastic rate, but it's nothing compared to 2.5%, obviously. The 2021 mantra, this year's bigger is better, may replace location, location, location as the housing's new mantra. So that's interesting as we're looking at what type of stuff we should be investing in. The Washington Post is reporting on President-elect Biden's plans for first-time homebuyers. If you haven't caught this as something to be really interested in, what they're basically, Biden's going to be proposing, and this isn't going to happen overnight, obviously, but what he's proposing is that if you make a purchase on a home, your down payment will be a tax credit. So what that means is if you put $10,000 on a home, you would not have to pay $10,000 worth of taxes if you owed that much. And if you didn't, then the next year you would not have to pay taxes. The first $10,000 would offset that. Now, there's some concerns with this. I'm being one of those concerns, which means the National Association of Home Builders, the National Association of Realtors both have concerns saying, hey, we're already seeing prices skyrocket. We're seeing demand here. Why are we trying to create demand when there isn't a need for demand, and their concern is doing something like that will make prices rise even higher, and home affordability is obviously a concern as well. I agree with all of those. I'm concerned about this for affordability. I'm concerned about this because of supply and demand issues. I'm concerned about this with prices. And so, this is something that's probably worth considering if we were in a housing crisis back in a 2008 type thing. If that's the case, this would be a great program. At the current status, I'm not in favor of this, but I'm not in charge. Maybe I should be. If you want to vote for me for president, put it in the comment. No, I'm totally kidding. We got a couple of comments here. Jonathan, contractors in South Carolina are overwhelming with long wait lists. Yeah, we're seeing the same thing, and you've got to be careful because you've got to make sure you get something that has quality. So you've got to be concerned with that. There's definitely a need for good contractors. Donna likes, I flippin' did it as the t-shirt, favorite t-shirt. Somebody's got to come up with some ideas. Oh, hey, here we go. Donna, hey, put this on a t-shirt. Flippin' Philly. The only problem with that is it only works in one area. I need something that everybody nationally would, but I love the idea, and I like it. Very creative. Wholesaler direct to seller on commercial deal in DC asking $5.5 million. Can anyone help me get this closed? Wow. Jalen, yeah, if anybody can help with a big commercial project, $5.5 million, Jalen. Hey, Jalen, if you type your, let's see, wholesale direct to seller on a commercial deal. What type of commercial property is it? Is it apartment complex, office, industrial? What is it, Jalen? I'm interested. I may be able to find somebody that can help you out with that in my network. Let me know what it is. Be interested. Alex says hello, or hi, I should say. Okay, Buffini makes bold predictions about upcoming year's real estate market. Yoon, who is the economist for the National Association of Realtors, says that home sales could be 20% higher in the third and fourth quarter compared to the prior years, meaning 2021 could be 20% higher. Additionally, he sees home sales prices more than 5%, possibly 10%. He's a little bit on the higher side from some of the economists that we've been following. 2021, as vaccinations become available, and possibly leads to faster job growth with still favorable mortgage rates, staying around the 3%. So everybody's kind of thinking that 3% is probably what we're going to see. The Biden bump, if we haven't heard of this, among other things, Biden is likely to remove the SALT cap limitations on itemized deductions for home mortgages and intrastate and local taxes that was enacted under President Trump. So basically what we're seeing is if there's a repeal of this SALT cap, it's going to benefit those who have those itemized deductions, and the mortgage and the sales tax is going to be interesting. So that's something to keep your eye on that could help landlords in that as well. Got a couple of comments. Jalen, residential, it can be used as Section 8 or condos. Let's see, residential. So is it, what type of residential is it? Let's see, used for Section 8. Is it new construction, or is there currently income coming in? Let me know, Jalen. I'd be interested. Maurice, Ryan for President 20. Oh, Maurice, you're hilarious. Yeah, don't do that. That's a whole other world I don't want to be a part of. So that's funny. Jalen, currently vacant 10 unit with plans to make it into 20 unit property. So yeah, Jalen, you've got a vacant 10 unit. Currently vacant 10 unit plans to, so you're not just you're talking about new construction, plus you're talking about an asset that's not producing anything right now at that price point of 5.5. Man, that's like $550,000 per unit. Boy, I hope those things are worth a ton. Where's it at? I'm just curious. Okay, December data. National inventory declined 39.6% over the last year. The inventory of newly listed properties declined 0.8% nationally. So December national median prices was $340,000, which is 13.4% compared to the prior year. Price gains of 8.8%. Nationally, the typical home buyer spent 66 days on the market in December. That's 13 days less. This is insane. 66 days on the market in December is just super, super fast on getting properties sold. All right, guys, let's jump into our next segment. We do this every time. I've got a property finding tip. This is a way to find properties. In addition to that, we'll be doing the free ways of finding properties properties as well. But my property finding tip of the day is involuntary liens. If you know what an involuntary lien is, type it in the comments section. I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are on that. So, what is an involuntary lien? It's a lien that you did not agree to be put on your property. So, a voluntary lien would be a mortgage, a loan where you're saying, yes, you can put you can put it on my property. You know, $350,000. Yes, you can put that on my property. But an involuntary is one that makes it onto your property that you didn't agree to get there. So, how does that happen? Looks like I'm going to sneeze. Can't get more live than that, I guess. I'm sneezing on camera. Let me take a drink here, too. Okay, so a line of credit, a mortgage, those are all voluntary liens. Involuntary liens is put on your house without you agreeing to it. So the question is, who can put a lien onto your home? Well, first off, taxes. And we're talking about property taxes here. Property taxes, if they're not paid, they're actually already a lien on your home. They're in ahead of a mortgage lien. And these typically are paid as part of the loan escrow, but not always. So they can put a lien onto your property without your consent. Another thing is an HOA, a homeowners association lien. Homeowner association is a group that helps manage a property if it's in an HOA. If you don't pay those, they can put a lien. This lien, it goes behind your mortgage, not in front of your mortgage, okay? So that's one to take into consideration. But what this tells me, if somebody has an HOA lien, it means they're having some financial struggles. If they're not able to pay their homeowners association, then they're probably having some struggles. And lots of people, the HOA is included in their loan, so they may even have a property free and clear. So that's something to take into consideration. So if you don't pay your fees to the association, they can lien your property. Let's talk a little bit about mechanics liens. This would be for work done on the property. So if, let's say you hired a contractor. The contractor did some work, and then you didn't pay him. Then the contractor would say, hey, I'm going to file a mechanics lien that says you owe me this property, you owe me this getting done to, you owe me this money because I did work on the property. It looks like our chat's blowing up here. I need to do a couple of shout outs. Property taxes, yes, Eugene, absolutely. Jonathan, T-shirt, property flippin' tip, call me. That is creative. Property flippin' tip, call me. I like it. Rigoberto, involuntary liens, got it. Eugene, yes. Let's see here. Bless you, Maurice. Yeah, thank you, Donna. Thank you, Maurice. Really appreciate it. Jaylyn, Northwest DC, Section 8 has gross income per month 57, per year 690. Huh, that's interesting. Let's see. Alex, contractors can put a lien. Yep, absolutely. Eugene, I used to collect them. Also special assessments, grasses for cutting. Eugene, what did you collect? You collected HOAs or you collected on involuntary liens? I'm really interested. Utility liens. If they did not pay water, sewer, garbage, gas, and electric, that becomes a utility lien. Solar liens. This is becoming more and more popular. Somebody puts solar on your house and you don't pay them. Child support, not paying your child support could come on as a property lien. And there's other things, anything else that can come. This typically means there's a problem. All we're trying to do with this involuntary lien is find out where is there financial distress. And if we can find something with financial distress, then we have a potential property we can be going after here. If they can't pay for utilities, if they can't pay for the solar, if they can't pay the child support, it means that there's something that needs to happen that we could help them in their life. But this alone isn't enough. If somebody owes money on a mechanics lien but has no equity in their home, it's not going to be a great opportunity for us as an investor. Also, if an involuntary lien is only like $200, most people will find a way to come up with $200. But if it's like $5,000 or $10,000, they're probably not going to find their way out of that problem, and they're going to need some help, which is something that we can help them do. Property tax liens. I used to work for the county treasurers. Eugene, you're a tax collector, man. I had no idea. Working for the county treasurers. Where are you at again, Eugene? Which county were you? Because if that's the case, you probably dealt with tax liens. Or you probably dealt with tax sales where people actually bought the taxes and you did the tax sale thing. I'm interested where you're at, Eugene. That's super cool. Okay, I like to look at this as involuntary lien. If they owe $5,000 or greater on an involuntary lien, that's what I'm looking for, right? And then more than most people can come up with. They just can't afford that. I also like to look for single family. I don't mind if it's a condo or row home and those things, but I definitely don't want something that's listed on the MLS because then everybody and their dog is going after this property as well. I like to make sure there's about $50,000 or more in equity on the property. If there's not, then it may not be a great deal. Maybe $25,000, but there's got to be some equity in it. Now the question is, how do I do this, right? So you go and you put it in an area, and if you're a member, you have Investor's Edge. And one of the things we do is we create buckets, and I want to show you this. So if I come here and I put in Chicago, Eugene, where is Cowahooga? It sounds like Chattahoochee or Tennessee or something. Where are you located at, man? Okay, so we come here, and let's just type in Chicago, Illinois. Boom, we just come in and talk about Chicago. And then Chicago's huge. So then one of the things that I can look at here is liens. The second bucket I have is involuntary liens. Looks like there's 2,257 involuntary liens that are in Chicago right now. But I've put a few filters on here. These are residential properties, single family, condo, townhouse, not currently on the MLS. They have an active lien. That's important. There's an active lien. $5,000 or more is the lien amount. The estimated value is $500,000 or less, and they've got 30% more of equity. You could probably tone this down to like 20% or 25%, but that's basically what I'm looking at. So I've done that search, and there's 2,257 properties that meet that criteria. So there's 46 pages of these suckers that meets that criteria right here. Each one of these properties meets that criteria, has 20% of equity. Now what we can do with it's not listed on the MLS, it's got 30% of equity, I'm sorry. So one of the things that I can do is I can actually send a mailer right to the house, and I can be like, hey, I'm wondering if you'd have some interest in selling your house. So I can do that. One of the things that we know on this, if I look at the mortgage information, there's a legal action in court going on. If you click on this, you can download it and pay a couple bucks and get it. So right now, we're not showing that there's any type of mortgage on this property, but there's this legal action going on. So we could go after that property potentially. This property doesn't have pictures, which means it hasn't been listed in a long time because we download the pictures from the MLS for our informational purposes. Looks like they currently owe about $23,000. This is estimated, and the reason why it's an estimate is we do a reverse amortization. So if you come here, you can see non-arm's length. This was purchased, so seller carryback. Okay, that's why. This is a seller carryback transaction. This is who the lender is. And so we basically, the original one was for $25,850 back in 2011. So we just use the average interest rate. We reverse engineer it and say they approximately owe $23,000. We think it's worth about $173,000. This is a great property that I should be going after. So then what you do is you put a marketing list together. So once I decide which properties I actually want, I create that and add it to a list. And then when I do that, if I want to call them or email them, I can do skip traces. And then our vendor skip trace price just went down to 12 cents each. And that'll get you the phone, the email. Once you have the phone number, it'll give you cell phone numbers, it'll give you landlines, and it'll give you email addresses. Then with that, you can start campaigns. With the campaigns, you can just send out postcards. You can do what's called a voice broadcast. You can call them yourself. Just pick up the phone and call them. You can send them a text message, and then you can also do email marketing where you can send an email out to them, or you can do all of them. With the postcards, it's super cool. One of the things we've got, if you're just sending like one postcard, it's 58 cents. So you can just send one. Those are the 4x6 inch, but we have everything all ready to go, and you can just decide what type of a advertisement you actually want to send out to them. And then based upon that, see, it's got my email address in here. As you update, it's got my address over here. I want to buy your house, on 123 Main Street, that type of stuff. So super cool that can help you. But the whole idea here is involuntary liens is what we're talking about, and how to actually find out where there's involuntary liens and how to get those out. Okay, you build the list, create the list, you name the list. The name sequences is really important. Then we do the skip trace. We send the voice broadcast. We can do the email. We've got the postcards, and we send out the postcards. So you've got to plan on spending between $1,500 and $15,000 per deal, depending upon your market, and you'll get about $30,000 to $60,000 above your costs. But that said, the topic of today is how to find investment properties for free. So I want to talk about that and set some expectations around that. But we've got some feedback on here. Gerard was late. No problem, man. We're just super happy you're here with us. And you can go back and watch the recording as well. Eugene, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, used to collect on a regular back property taxes, property tax liens, special assessments. All right. Please give this video a thumbs up. All right. Loving it. Okay, let me grab a drink, and we're going to really get into this. Man, South Texas is in the house. It's about time. I've talked about Texas like 4 times, Lone Star Investments. I'm glad you're with us because we need a Texan in the house. Okay, what you're going to learn today. So let me just back up. I just got a little ahead of myself. Okay, how to find investment properties for free is what we're going to be chatting about today, and excited for you to be with us. What you're going to learn today is ways to find properties, how marketing plays a role in finding properties, timeframe expectations. This is something I think people get wrong quite a bit. They underestimate how much work it'll be to find a property. And they especially underestimate how much work it'll be to find a property if they're not planning on spending money on marketing. And I'm not here to discourage you from spending money on marketing, nor encourage you to. I just want to set some correct time frame expectations. And we're going to go through 8 different ways that you can find properties that don't cost any money. So we're going to be going through those as well. So the first thing I really want to chat about is this whole idea of time versus money. Okay, it's really your choice. You're going to either have to put in the time or you're going to have to put in the money. And if you don't have the money, then you have to put in the time. And lots of people get this wrong. If you have no money, you have to invest your time into marketing. You need to expect it to take much more time to find a property if you're only investing your time than if you're willing to also invest your money into finding a good deal. Again, this is in duration and it's also in amount of hours. So it's going to take you more months before you actually get a good deal, and it's going to take you more hours than it would be if you're spending money in doing specific marketing. What marketing does for you is it cuts down, the correct marketing is it's going to cut down in the number of hours you need to spend in finding a deal. So if it's going to take you 100 hours to find a deal with marketing, it's going to take you 200 or 300 hours to find a deal without doing marketing, because rather than spending 58 cents to do a postcard, you've got to get in your car, go to a property, knock on the door. They may not be there. Get in your car, go to another one, or pick up the phone. So there's some things that you've got to keep in mind here as you're finding these properties, because unlike you'll see on the HGTV amazing shows, which we all love to watch, you just don't have a fairy godmother drop a property into your lap like all those shows start, which is, oh, we got a phone call and there's this property over here and it's under contract and now we're off to the races. That section, that 10 seconds of TV time is hours and hours or hundreds of hours in finding a great deal, and that's really what you get paid for. In most cases, it will cost much less to send a postcard than it will for you to knock on the door, and many get discouraged when doing the free ways of finding properties and give up too frequently because they say, hey, they see other people having success more. Well, that person may be spending $10,000 a month in marketing, or they see somebody else that finds that property faster and they forget, oh, well, that person maybe hired somebody to help and go do some of these things. So you've got to keep it in perspective and don't give up too soon, because it's going to take you a lot more time if you're doing these free ways. That's not to say you shouldn't be doing these, but you just got to have the right perspective, because what I don't want you to do is give up. That's the worst thing that you can do. You have to have a commitment that you're not going to give up. There is success to be had. You've got to stick with it to get the success. You may have to make some tweaks. You may have to make some changes. You may have to go in a different direction. But in the end, you've got to stick with it. That's the thing that makes it. If you're using a good strategy and you put in the time, statistically, you're going to get a deal at some point, but you've got to make sure you never give up. So I want to make sure you understand the big picture and what it will really take. That's what's really important here. So to do that, what we want to do is reverse engineer your success. So if the outcome is for you to get a deal, the question is, what steps have to happen in order for you to get a deal, and how do you do that in a free manner without spending money in marketing? So let's talk about this. Let's reverse engineer this. First off, you've got to determine your strategy. What are you actually going to be doing in order to get the property? How many hours will it take to make that work? How many manpower hours will it take to make that work? Then you've got to dedicate the time to put it in. And then once you do that, then we've got to kind of just reverse engineer that. So if you're doing this for free, you're typically going to be using what are called self-generated leads. A self-generated lead is one that you went out and find. It's not one from a postcard or voice broadcast or anything else like that. So you will need on average, this is going to vary by area, but this will give you an idea, and it's also going to vary based upon skill set. If you take the call or if I take the call, we're going to get different results, and so then we have to improve our skills so that we have a better close ratio when we're dealing with those calls. But let's just use this as an average just for numbers' sake so you have an idea or a plan. You're going to need about 55 leads. And these leads are name, address, and phone number of people that are interested in selling their property. You're going to need about 55 leads of people that are interested in selling their property. And that will turn into about 14 appointments, meaning most of the time those are not going to be deals that you can do anything with or make any money on or work with. But about 14 of those 55 will be ones you're going to say, I want to come see your property. With that, there's going to be about 10 of those 14 you're going to actually give them an offer. You're going to say, here's an offer, this is what I'm going to do. And about one of those is going to turn into a contract. So you're going to have time making the contracts. You're going to have time going on the appointments, but the majority of your time is to get these 55 leads. So the question is, what are you going to have to do in order to get those 55 leads? And that comes down to what strategy you use. And if you're using a free way of finding properties, you're going to have to spend a lot more time to get those 55 leads than you would doing paid ways of getting properties, and it will take longer, which is perfectly fine, but we want to make sure. So the question is, how do you get to the 55 leads? Those 55 is that magic number, statistically speaking, gets us on the right pathway. So ways to find free properties. Let's talk about this. Okay. So real estate agent referrals. This is, let's go through all of them and then I'll talk step by step. Zoning violations, nursing homes, probate attorneys, for rent by owner, for sale by owner, wholesalers, knock around, 5 around. Those are different ways you can actually find properties for free. Let's start with the real estate agent. This is the most overestimated and the most underperforming of the ones that we're going to talk about. You can find a deal with an agent, but many agents are investors themselves, so you're never going to see the deal. They're going to take it themselves. You're going to pay more for it than you are if you go with off-market properties. There are lots of investors that they can give the deal to. You're one of millions. Agents want it. You should be aware of this. So don't avoid working with agents, but don't put all your eggs in one basket and don't make this your primary focus. But it is a way that you can look at finding properties, but most people delegate their success to a real estate agent. The real estate agent never finds a deal for them and they leave frustrated. And they give up. So I don't want that to be you. This is something, it should be a tool in the toolbox, but it shouldn't be your primary way of finding properties. This one is one of my favorites that a lot of people just don't even know about and they overlook it. Okay. In your county or city, there's homes that have what are called violations. Now, the first thing that happens is they get a warning. The warning may be cut your grass, or you have a broken down vehicle, or you have, the sidewalk needs to get fixed, or whatever the case may be, it's called a violation. So they usually send out a warning. If not, then they fine you. And then you have to show up in court. This is all public information. You appear in court, and then what you're trying to do is get that fine down. So like in a city, I have some properties. The fine is like $100 a day to landlords per day per incident. So if my tenant doesn't cut the grass and the zoning officer goes over there and issues a warning and they don't cut it, then I get something in the mail saying, hey, you owe us $100 a day. This incident's gone on for 2 weeks. So you owe us $1,400. And you can appear before the judge at this date and this time. So then I go show up there. I'm like, hey, judge, why do I have to do this? The grass has already been cut the fine down, and I try and negotiate with that. Well, what I can do as an investor is I can go to that court hearing, and I can sit in the back and I can listen to what happens. And then as the homeowner walks out, I can say, hey, I was in there. I noticed you've got this situation with your house. Would you have any interest in selling the property? And lots of times, especially if they're a landlord, they may have some interest in that. And if so, you hand them the business card, you get their phone number, you call them. That's the type of thing you can do with zoning violations. And this is a ninja trick that very, very few people are actually using. You talk with the owner, see if they want to sell. They have motivation, but now we need to make sure they actually have equity. And that's something you'll have to go back and do your research and those things. But zoning violation is an untapped resource. Another untapped resource is nursing homes, okay? So here's what happens is grandma or grandpa passes away, and then grandpa's still there and he's by himself, and then maybe he slips and falls, and the family says, we really need to get him in a home where he can get the proper care. Well, nursing homes are really expensive, and most people's equity is tied up in their house. So they may say, okay, we put grandpa in, and we've got a little bit of money to pay for that, but next month's coming due, and we're going to need a bunch of money to take care of that. And so they say, well, grandpa's got all of his money in his property. The problem is grandpa's been holding the property together with baling wire for years. Very few things work. He was one of the guys that's like, hey, if I can't fix it, we don't need it. The property has, the old, the avocado fridge and stove. The baling wire's holding it together. The shingles are half coming off. And that's how grandpa hurt himself, because he was getting up on a ladder and he shouldn't have. So that's the type of condition of the property. So the problem with that is if you list that property on the MLS, somebody cannot buy it as a homeowner. They can only an investor could buy it, because a new bank is not going to give a loan on a property that isn't in move-in ready condition. And especially if it's an FHA loan, they're going to be looking for that property to meet certain qualifications. And if the property can't meet those qualifications, then you're going to find yourself not able to sell that property. And that's where an investor can come in and say, hey, we realize the property needs work. We don't need to go get an FHA loan. We're going to be paying with hard money or cash. And then we can actually do the fix-ups of this property. So this is what we can pay for you, but get this, we can have money for you in a couple of weeks, and that money will take care of grandpa, getting him in the nursing home and getting him the care that he needs. This can be a win-win for everybody, but one of the strategies are when you're doing an onboard consultation with a nursing home, they're saying, how are you going to be able to pay for this? Because they want to make sure that the people coming in can pay for it, because they certainly don't want to evict somebody that's coming into that type of a nursing home. So obviously there's some Social Security, some other things that they can work with, but lots of times that doesn't pay for all of it. So what we can do is we can make relationships with a nursing home onboarding specialist. We can say, hey, most people that are coming to you, if they own a house, they need to get inside that equity. But the property is usually in pretty poor condition, so they're going to have a hard time selling it and can't sell it to an end buyer. So what I can do is pay cash or hard money for that property in order for them to make a transaction happen. Now there's HIPAA, there's all these laws and stuff around this, but this is what you can do is say, hey, this is my card, this is how my program works. Would you please give that out to anybody that owns a house? And if you can, ask for their permission, and they can put their name and phone number down on this form and say, hey, and then give me their phone number, and then I'll call them, which is teaching someone how to give you a lead. Don't just give out my card. Ask for permission to give me their name and phone number, and then I can call and follow up with them. Most of the homes, so families need the money cash. So this is the onboarding specialist. This is a great way to find properties, and this is a win-win situation. I bought a property last year. Was it last year? From a family that had a situation very similar to this. I was able to help them out and get grandpa in the nursing home. They are forever grateful that we did that. Okay, another thing. Let's talk about probate attorneys. Probate attorneys, this is a strategy that takes time. But like I said, most of these free strategies do. Probate attorneys, or if somebody doesn't have a will, a probate attorney is going to help dispose of those assets, which is typically the house. And so if you can make relationships with probate attorneys when somebody has a house, but they don't don't have a will, you can do the same thing. Here's my business card. Here's my program. I can buy properties regardless of the condition. We can get money fast for you. And if you can teach your probate attorneys the same thing, hey, ask for permission to give me the name and phone number, and you can even give them a form. Here's the form. They can fill it out, and then the probate attorney can give it to you. Making these relationships, the great thing about it is it makes the probate attorney's job easier because they now have an offer and they have a buyer, and it makes the whole process go faster. But you've got to build relationships. The attorney, if he trusts you, will give your information over to somebody that's going through a probate due to a death of a loved one. This can be a great finding strategy. One thing to know on this is you've got to start with small firms. You don't want to look for the biggest law firm in your city and try and make relationships with the probate attorneys there. You're typically wanting to go after your solo practitioners, just the guy or, the guy with a paralegal, that type of guy or gal, I should say. You want to make sure that you're going after a smaller, they're going to answer their phones. You're going to be able to talk to them. If you go through a big firm, you're going to have a much harder time. Okay, this is one of my favorites, and I've actually found deals this way. This is for rent by owners. Basically, what happens on a for rent by owner is when somebody's leasing their property, rather than hiring a property manager, they're actually leasing the property themselves. And so with this, you can typically find burnout landlords. And so you can call a for rent by owner and you say, hey, I'm calling about your property. And they always answer the phone because they want to lease their property. And you say, would you have any interest in selling your property versus buying or versus renting? And lots of times they're going to say no. But what you're going to say is, if it ever happens in the future, here's my number. Can I send you my information? I'll send you a letter. But then the $1 million question is, do you have any other properties that you'd be interested in selling? And sometimes they'll have a property that they want to unload, even though it's not the specific property you're calling about. Maybe they have problems with tenants. Maybe they have problems needing more money to fix the property up. There's a variety of different things, but this is a great way of finding properties that other people just don't know about, calling people that have houses for rent and asking them if they want to sell. And the great thing is it's easy to get access to this information for free because you can find the different rental listings, sort by private owners, and look for stuff in your area, make phone calls to those people absolutely for free. Again, with this though, you can't give up. You're going to get a lot of people saying no. You're going to have to do this for a long period of time. Again, we're working these free lists. This is going to take a lot more effort and diligence in order for us to find a good deal. So we've got to be very committed to this process. Likewise, for sell by owners, this is more well known. These are people that are selling the house by themselves. You can call and you can say, hey, rather than list the property, why don't you sell it and avoid all the hassles? Now, one thing I will say with for sale by owners, it's kind of like the real estate agents. You can find deals that way, but I wouldn't necessarily put all your focus into it. I wouldn't avoid it, but I wouldn't put all your focus into this. Just being aware of it, so if the right opportunity hits, you can do it, but I wouldn't be putting your money into, or I wouldn't be putting most of your time into this strategy. Another great way, one of our customers, Ed, has found 3 of his last deals through a wholesaler. Wholesalers are kind of a double-edged sword as well. You can find companies that are out there doing the marketing, and they're locking up the deals and they're selling that contract. This can be very competitive and can drive up prices, but it's typically a little bit better than what you're going to find on the MLS. And so you can find deals without having to spend the money on marketing. Again, same here though, don't rely on it. It's something you should be aware of. You should get on people's lists. They typically blast it out. Once you actually buy one, then you can get on what's called their short list. And then you can probably get deals faster that way and a little bit better pricing. Let's talk a little bit about driving for dollars. When you see a home with some condition problems, broken windows, roof problems, anything that shows neglect, that home needs to be repaired before it can be sold to a retail buyer. Let's say there's a hole in the roof, or like I say, broken windows. You can knock on the door of that home and say, would you be interested in selling your house? Random question. Don't mean to impose on you, but I was just driving around. I'm interested in homes in this area. Just wondering if you'd have any interest in selling your house. Don't say your house looks like crap, but you want to knock on that. The other thing you can do is you can do what's called a 5-around. So you knock on the ones right next door to it, the 2 right next door, and the 3 right across the street. The one right across the street, and then the 2 kitty corner. Knock on all 5 of those. And what you're doing is saying, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking, you see the property over there? They all know the property looks like crap. I'm interested in that property. Can you give me the phone number of the owner or his email address? And so you ask them to give you a phone number, and lots of times they will. And now you have a phone number that you can follow up with the owner that may not have answered the door when you drove out there. Again, these freeways take a lot of time. You've got to spend a lot of time in finding a good deal, but driving for dollars is a great way to do that. Now, let's keep in mind a few things. You are not trying to talk people into selling, and you're not trying to talk people into taking a lower than market price. That's not what you're trying to do here. You're trying to find people that are already motivated, people that already want to go find stuff, and you're trying to find people that see the value in an offer from an investor rather than listing with an agent. If somebody already sees the value in that and somebody already has the motivation, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody that has those things. We're not trying to talk people into it. That's really difficult to do. We're trying to get people that understand the benefits. And some of the benefits of selling to investors rather than listing with an agent, there's several of these, and this is really important to know. There's no financing delays. You can sell the property in as-is condition. These are benefits a seller gets in selling to an investor like us rather than listing. You don't have to do any work to the home. You don't have to spend weeks or months. I've got a friend that's looking to sell his house. He's spending months trying to fix things and do things and get it all ready to sell. You don't have to do that. There's no commissions. Investors typically pay closing costs. We'll pay all your closing costs. You get to sell on the date of your choice. When do you want to close? I want to close next Friday. Perfect. Let's close then. A quick closing if you want it to be, or not if you don't. If you say, this is the day I want to move out of my property, investors can make arrangements for that. You don't have to have people constantly barraging and going through your home, invading your personal space. All that goes away when you sell to an investor. There's no complicated paperwork. The forms are simple. And you have the peace of mind in knowing that the price you'll get, rather than being sold to by an agent who's going to give you a high price later to have you reduce the property, and then you get a lower price anyway. You know what the house is going to go for because you actually have the offer. And there's more benefits, but these are just some that I want to touch on to make sure you realize there are benefits and there are people that would much rather have these things than they would more money in their pocket. There's a huge benefit to the people, especially if the house is in need of repairs, and especially if they have equity. If you have those things, you've got motivation, you've got equity, you've got a really, really good potential deal. The other thing to keep in mind is software can make a huge difference, a very big difference. If you invest in software to get listed, it can make it much easier. You'll have to spend less time working on deals and making more money in actually doing deals instead of having to find them. And if you can spend some money on marketing, my recommendation is to do skip trace. Like with Investor's Edge, our software, it's about 12 cents per record. And then you get all the phone numbers they have, the landlines, the phone numbers, and the email addresses. The landlines, the cell phones, and the email addresses for that 12 cents. So that can really help speed up the process for you, which does cost a little bit of money, but we've been talking about freeways so far. You can also send them the emails and the text messages and make the calls yourself, so you're not spending a lot of money on data, so that can be helpful. And this can speed things up significantly. Okay, guys, I've got a bunch of comments I want to chat about here. Gerard, Texas, where you get a gun with every home purchased. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that would be awesome. Brian, great info. Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate it. Yes, Jonathan, time versus money. It's important. Correct marketing. I'm with you. I had flippin' success. I like that, Jonathan. Great shirt. I had flippin' success. Hey, guys, if you are interested in our complete system that takes brand new investors through flipping their first home, it's called our Find, Fund, Flip system. We have dozens of hours training. We have deal finding software. We have access to our 100% financing loans. Check us out at dohardmoney.com/get started. dohardmoney.com/get started. We'll type it in so you can have it in the chat here, but love to have you check that out. If you're also interested in getting our Motivated Seller Worksheet absolutely for free, you want to get a download of this, go to dohardmoney.com/motivated-seller-sheet. Again, dohardmoney.com/motivated-seller-sheet. Big thanks to John, who's getting these in the chats for everybody. The first one is our Find Fund Flip system, and the next one is going to be our motivated seller. Again, guys, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our Do Hard Money channel on YouTube. Please leave a comment, and the highest compliment you can give me is telling somebody else about our Do Hard Money channel. Also, please let me know what future topics you'd like to hear. Business partner deep dive. There are a lot of different topics here. I won't go over all of them. Please type in the comments what you would like to hear for a future topic, because I really want to make sure you're getting value out of everything that you're hearing and what you've heard today. And if you've enjoyed this, you're going to love my podcast. It's called Income Hacker. Please check it out. You can find it on Apple and iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're not a podcast listener, I recommend you check it out. Again, we've got that motivated seller sheet you can download. Click on that as well. Let's see. Strong teaches. Great info. You're welcome. Appreciate you being with us. John says, how often do you continue to campaign if there is no response? That's a great question. I like the rule of 3. So I typically send 3 postcards, 3 voice broadcasts, 3 text messages. I typically do 3 times. And if I get no response after 3, then I stop. But the question is, I usually do that over a period of time. It depends on what campaign. I'm going to be rolling out some cool stuff for 2021 on finding some properties that you're going to want to tune into, John. Jonathan, business partners would be great. Fantastic. Anybody else, if you got things that you would like me to do a future live cast on, please type it in the comments. Now, let's talk about our winner. We're going to be sending out I Flippin' Did It t-shirt to our winner of the week. This is last week's winner. So what we're doing today is for next week's winner. For last week's winner, we're going to be sending that, and we're going to be sending one of our Do Hard Money masks. Can't have enough of those these days. Our winner is Robert Stitz. Robert, if you are in the house, please type in the comments. Let us know that you are here. You are our winner of the week. All you've got to do is email support@dohardmoney.com. Put in the comments you are the shirt winner. Put in your screen name, your real name, mailing address, your cell phone number, and your shirt size. This is really important. We need all your information, mailing address, cell phone, shirt size, and we will send you out a free t-shirt. We'll pay for the shipping. We'll pay for everything. So round of applause to Robert. Congratulations on being our t-shirt winner of the week, for having great comments and participating. We appreciate you being with us. For all of those, if you want to find out if you won our t-shirt competition, join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, don't forget to download that motivated seller sheet, dohardmoney.com, motivated-seller-sheet. Okay, guys, have a great evening. Thank you for being with me. Make it a very profitable day, and I look forward to talking to you next week.